Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. All right, it is December 17th, 2025. I hope the day has treated you kindly. Thank you for being here with me. We're going to tap right in and see what the planetary situation is, what storyline Holy Spirit would like to share with us. Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit, please let us know, what is the planetary situation? What's happening? Got some stuff going on. Well, trickery. Completion of trickery. Completion of trickery, or those who were bringing trickery to you betrayed you, are in a Ten of Wands burden. You're getting, because they were trying to abuse you so they could take your Ten of Pentacles from you. That Ten of Pentacles, which the Earth Angel is being generous with, the High Priestess, doling out among the people with the King of Cups because he knows the truth. And they're turning the wheel on this, entering into a new cycle. And those who were acting impulsively, passionately, are having a painful ending. Well, that was quick, wasn't it? Okay. That came out rather quickly. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. In the central energy, Four of Pentacles. In the challenge position, the Eight of Pentacles. In the subconscious, we've got the Three of Swords in the reverse. Moving on. Moving on. Moving on from heartbreak. Letting it go. Letting go of the pain. So these masculines that have been brutalizing everybody, they don't have the capacity to care about the pain they cause others. They were talking about forgiveness earlier. They wanted forgiveness, and it's like, it's so weird. And I was just like, well, for me, forgiveness is all about release these days. I forgive myself for being so forgiving. I forgive myself for not recognizing the pattern of abuse earlier. I forgive myself for allowing this to continue in my life and wherever else I am in the universe. And I release this burden that has continued to be abusive every time that I forgave and allowed them permission to maintain their presence in my energy. So I forgive myself for allowing myself to be hurt like that, for not standing up for myself, for not caring enough about my inner divine. I was putting other people's importance and need ahead of the inner one that supports me, guides me, protects me. And I'm not doing that anymore. In the recent past, Tower. So we got a Tower and a completion. So this is in the recent past position. Intentions and expectations. Oh, I do hope the alarm doesn't go off. 9 of Cups. You're coming into your reward. You are love. You've got 9 cups of love. You're getting a wish come true. In the near future, whoa, celebration within the community. Now I'm probably going to set the alarm off. Oh my goodness. Go on now. Celebration within the community. The lens is being looked through. Queen of Cups. That was one of the first things that the Divine stated a couple of years ago when they arrived to kind of clear this out. They said, you've been too forgiving. Like cycle after cycle after cycle. I mean, these people apparently, according to the curator, burned us alive many times. Not just once, but many times. But apparently what they do is they like separate, they fragment the spirit self from the 3D self so that they can use, abuse, and manipulate them. So the spirit self is kept in a state of innocence, of purity, of naivety, of ignorance. And the 3D self is kept in a state of lack, instability, and aloneness. Apparently, this has been a pattern for a long time, and we haven't picked up on it because we've been fragmented purposefully so that they could better manipulate us in both realms. In the environment, Hanged Man. Hanged Man. You're letting something go. Sacrifice is happening. Somebody's surrendering. You're surrendering. Somebody's hopes and fears. The Moon. Something's hidden. Outgoing energy. We've got the Page of Swords in the reverse. Manipulation, deception, lying. They're lying. So we got a page who's lying. So a sacrifice, fear and anxiety, and a page who's lying. In a painful ending at the turn of the wheel. Because the truth is known and you've got public recognition. Power couple, strength of 2. Justice is happening. The King of Wands and his team, he's a leader. He knows who to designate for what position. He's very good at matchy skills to need, right? So they're delivering justice, the law of cause and effect. Separating out, disconnecting, and leaving behind those who are being abusive. We've got, this is the Death. This could be the death of their opportunity. The death of their opportunity, Or it could be that you're getting a new opportunity, and this is the end of the cycle. This scenario that we've been undergoing is done, and they're in a nightmare over it. They're in a nightmare over all the hard work that they did there, and it could be that it was a hard work researching this Queen of Pentacles. Researching, looking for the stars, the characteristics, and they're moving on. And we've got Queen of Wands here too, moving on. And King of Swords is right here, dealing with this person, Mr. Passion, wanting to, got the freaking barriers up on the Empresses, on the fruits of the labor of the Empress. These little people that are coming in to get people pregnant just so they can tap that freaking spiritual inheritance for the child. They want to come in and marry into the clan so that they can start this horseshit all over again. No. No. So, and it looks like those who were holding the boundaries firm are excited. We've got freedom here. They worked very hard, made an investment, and now they're getting an opportunity all over the world. It looks like we've got somebody's restricted from your Ace of Pentacles because they were causing illusions with love offers, and now you're laying to rest that connection, and they're in a Five of Pentacles because you have a rebirth, because you were maintaining control, or the sun, however you want, rebirth, sun, revitalization, you have maintained control. Absolutely. And these financial opportunities that people are going to be having are coming directly from God, because they care about union, and they're coming together to build together off of the strengths that they have, united. There could be some travel plans on for divine love, according to the truth about love that is in their heart. Yeah, and this magician is trying to defend their beliefs over why they were doing magic spells over everybody's mind and driving everybody's lives into chaos. Why were they being so interfering in other people's lives? Well, it was because they were looking for a profit. Screwing over somebody else was a quick way to get a quick paycheck. Lazy and cruel. They don't have any morals or ethics. They don't have any morals or ethics, and it's simple. I mean, what's sad is that the soul couldn't pick up on it and decide no. When I was, how old was I? 9, 10? We were real poor. We were always real poor. And my mother married a man who had issues with the law. And how old was I? 8, 9? She tried to get me to steal at the store, and I didn't want to. Everything in me was screaming no, and I sat down in the middle of the aisle and I just started crying like crazy. I don't want to steal. And she was so upset because she was trying to get away with something sneaky, and here I was broadcasting it with snot bubbles and everything. And she didn't ask me to steal after that. But still, it's like the soul knows, I mean, it's either in you or it's not, this thing, because she was certainly not really living, it's what some of us were planted in, these families, But the soul knows. And if a soul doesn't know, then that means somebody's not listening, or they bought into the scheme of things. They decided it would be easier to just go hurt somebody that's weak and take from them their opportunity, rather than allowing them to grow and become stronger. I don't know, man. We have the audacity to talk about responsibility when they're playing with people's lives like that. So we got the Four of Pentacles here. Escape. Escape. Doubts weigh heavy, and the leap forward seems too far. Crushed by the burdens of reality, seeking solace in the thought of vanishing. Somebody's lost everything. They're experiencing scarcity. They want to escape. They just want to disappear. They're thinking about, or they're challenged by what? By your mastery. You know, these ones many months ago were saying that you had the mind of an apprentice. And even if you are older, that is a compliment, really, because that simply means that you are still open to learning. You know, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks because they usually become very solid and firm in their idea that they already know it all, you know? So we've got mastery, a mind of apprentice, working very, very hard, mastering your new skill development, working with high standards. Peeping. Maintains a facade and guard your privacy with care. Guard your privacy with care. Keeping secrets might protect you for a while, but they won't last. So we've got this person here peeping in on you. You're learning stuff. You're mastering yourself and whatever it is that you're learning. And you got somebody peeping on you. Maybe they got caught peeping. We've got a lot of voyeurs that have been doing, I think they're using those medicines and the heavy metals or nanobots or whatever that is that's in them to tap into the consciousness of the body, that's the temple housing spirit and soul that is using it. And they go in and they tap the mind, the intellectual property, the spiritual gifts, and all of that. So they could be peeping. These Agent Smiths, we got some Agent Smiths out there. They've been using these medicines as connectors and bridges. I really think that they're agent smithing some people that could perhaps be in the territory on that medicine. They might have been spying on you, on your work. You're recovering. So the work, you may have been healing. Working very hard to learn new skills on how to pull yourself up out of the muck and just shine brightly. Recovery, healing, releasing the pain. Somebody is peeping on you, wondering how the heck are you doing that, right? They want to escape whatever this thing is that they got. Maybe they're thinking about you escaping, moving on. They're looking for an escape. They want to vanish. I guess some people are hiding in the wilderness or something. Danger. Fatal blow. The fatal blow is you've released all of the pain that they forced you to carry, or you alchemized it with this skill development here. Fatal blow. You alchemized all that crap energy, all that death energy. The doctrine of mutually assured destruction prevents conflict. Irreversible damage is in sight, and facing the conflict head on could have prevented total destruction. You've recovered, you're moving on, and now they're going to experience total destruction. They're in a tower as the cycle is completed. You know, when you were suffering, at least for me, it was over 2 decades. You know, they weren't watching, really. I mean, they were harassing me mentally, you know, RAPing me in the mind, trying to tear my mind apart and destroy my mental body. But they didn't watch for a while until after like the first maybe 12 years. And then the original bad guys came back and is like, what's going on? Why is this person still here, right? So then they kicked in their effort as well. It's like they thought that Draco or the lizards are the very low vibrational ones, where they thought they had me and that all they had to do is pull me under. But I kept up, and then after about 12 years, these others came in and they were like, well, what's going on? What's the problem? Problem is, she won't quit. It's really amazing when you're raised by people who instill in you that life really doesn't have much of a value. It's all about just surviving and getting along day to day, right? When you're raised by people to think that you're fat, that you're ugly, that nobody wants you, and, you know, you get beat up all the time by others, like physically beat up. And then there's rumors, and everybody in the town starts talking about you for something that your mother did or it had nothing to do with you, but yet you're carrying the weight of the judgment. It's incredible, man. They're watching you go through all this stuff and come out of it without, you know, being crushed by it, shattered by it, and then come healing from it. They're like, whoa, wait, what? Now they got to go do it. They wanted your reward. Now they got to go walk your path. Or whatever it is that God's doing with them. You know, thankfully, vengeance isn't mine. I never wanted that. I did plead with them to stop over and over again. I asked them. I demanded. I asked. All that I could do. Condemnation. So, we got a tower and the world card. It's somebody's in a tower because this is a completion of that cycle. We've got condemnation. People are pointing their fingers. Public scrutiny causes you to question your worth and motives. Facing public opinion challenges your resilience and your resolve. It could be that this is the completion of everybody pointing their fingers at you and blaming you for everything that they made you carry, the blame and the shame and the energy of their foul deeds and intentions. They were condemning you for that stuff that they were projecting onto you and into you. These magicians, what they're wondering why we don't want them in the territory. In the territory where we're having a wish come true, a 9 of Cups. They wanted it. They wanted it. Now they're in a tower because the truth is seen. Because you healed, because you did the intense work and healed. You didn't give up. Now somebody wants to vanish. Whoever wanted to control the results of your efforts, they want to escape now because you healed and you're coming into your reward, what you worked for. And the nice thing about it is this Queen of Cups, High Priestess, they share it because that's what they do. That's what divine feminine mothers do, is they care for people. Feed people. Make sure they have enough. Check up on them. Germination. They will not walk on our growth or our vitality again. God said they will never take anything from us again. So germination prevents future issues by addressing root causes, preserves delicate beginnings, and ensures their future, roots out issues from their source, and promotes stability. So you're getting what you wished for. You're getting a beautiful dream come true. Nobody's able to destroy that which you are growing, birthing, planting, seeding. It's protected. And that's what the Divine Mother stated in one of her beautiful aspects. She said that they cannot curse your land or your business. So that's that. Things will grow and they cannot destroy it. So you've got your wealth, your Nine of Pentacles, and your land is being protected. Three of Cups, celebration within the community. Happiness. Happiness. Comparison. So there's a celebration here. It says, focus on your own path and stop seeking validation from external sources. Comparison with others distracts you from your own path, and inequality in resources creates tension. Well, all of those of us who've been actually 9 to 5, we know that not always are we paid what we're worth, and not always are we paid the same for the same job. You know, it's not, the world isn't fair, man. It's just not. And you got these folks out there that have been comparing. They see you out here, you're working your job, you're being all responsible, you got your house, you got your cars, you pay all your bills, and you're getting up and going to work. Some guys, I work with a fella, he works the weekend as well. He's got 2 kids, a beautiful wife. They go on vacation every year. I mean, he really puts in the work to make sure that his family has a good time with each other, you know? He takes them on a nice vacation every year by working those weekends, which is tough. But he earns it. He works for it, you know? And these other guys that don't have anything in their wallet, they go and they say, well, give me some, buddy. Queen of Cups is here. See, this is a thing that I think happened a long, long time ago. We had Divine Mother there. She and Holy Mother, you know, the High Priestess, Empress. She was providing for people financially and whatever God gave her to divvy out among the community. That's what she was doing. And you got these jackwagons who came in. They wanted to collaborate. These are exact duplicates of us, except they got black hearts, black souls, malice inside of them, speaking proper words and doing the ritual. They're really good actors, man. They can seem like they're just, but they're so full of malice. And their trick is to take from you what you got because you got too much. So they set up organizations and then they convince you that you need to donate to it or work for it or do whatever, right? Queen of Pentacles just gives it away. Give it away now. Give it away now. But these guys wanted more. And I think from what I can gather, she recognized that they were going to slowly integrate the people into lives of prostitution, lack of marriage, they were going to destroy the opportunity for generational wealth and family trees. She knew that. So they unalived her. They blamed her for something, probably did their magic, their juju on her and on the minds of people, because I don't think at that time they knew the technology or the ways that they work with in order to drive thoughts into the original organic transmitter receiver of the Most High, right? Because they had their AI tech and all this other good fancy stuff. So they came in and they framed her, got her evicted, and then she fell and had to come here and go through cycle, and gather evidence as to what it was she was trying to say in the first place. Twin flame, Queen of Cups, you're coming into your twin flame. It's time for you finally to meet, you know, these mutants or these pretend people. You know, they considered it to be taboo that the twin flames come together, and that's because they really liked the energy of suffering, of pain, of low vibrational sickness and stuff like that, where people were weak. They could just come in and take. Souls maturing separately to bring deeper wisdom upon reunion. Growing in parallel dimensions, destined to intersect again. Evolving separately and becoming whole individually. So apparently, you, Queen of Cups, and your twin flame have become whole on your own, and now you are aligned. You're in alignment. So on your own, it's like your deep, deep, dark shadow, your pain, your triggers, your suffering, your anger, your rage, all of that. Like you had to spend lifetimes probably healing that, working through that, doing the shadow work, trying to pull up out of it. And it was terrible because these ones made you forget your purpose, forget the wound. You know, you knew that it sucked and it hurt really bad, but you know, there's no, if they kept you, it's kind of like they kept your foundation fluid, like you couldn't really, you know, get a foothold. So it looks like Queen of Cups and her twin flame have done their shadow work. You know, the deep, deep darkness and the bright, bright lightness is in perfect harmony and balanced, managed. Even when something really terrible happens, it's like that balance, that temperance energy doesn't go away. You've had some pretty significant emotional and nervous system, you know, temple destroyers is what they wanted it to wind up being, but it just didn't. So now there's a change. We got sacrifice. Whoever that was hurting you, they're in a tower. Whoever that was trying to blame you and condemn you for what it was they were doing to you while they were taking all your stuff, they're being released. Please release me, let me go, for I don't love you anymore. Interest. Well, what do we got here? Whoa, okay. So we've got sacrifice or release. We got the Hanged Man. Somebody missed their deadline. They missed their deadline. This says our relationship became another task to manage, and we postponed us, thinking there would be more time. Missed the deadline. So these ones, so there's the people who are being let go. They missed the deadline. They were effing around too much, having too much of a party on the pain and suffering of others, and they missed their deadline. We got secret weapon in the reverse. I'm battling my insecurities and re-examining our relationship. It is life-altering and also extremely empowering. At times I struggle, but I know you are my secret weapon. They missed their deadline. So it could be somebody's getting sacrificed or let go, or those who sacrificed somebody missed their deadline. They've lost their secret weapon, which is you. Which is you. And now we've got interest. They owe you interest for all of this stuff. So the other, yesterday, these guys were saying, after I had a significant galactic opening and all of that, they said, you guys don't understand. Everything that happened to her has to be repaid. And not only that, it has to be repaid with interest, because this has been going on for centuries. They have tortured you many times, burned you alive many times. I'm sure there are lots of other ways to die that are equally horrific, and they've done it. They owe you interest, pain and suffering, and for time lost, for destroying or trying to destroy you and your opportunity to be in purpose according to your alignment with the Most High God. They tried to take it from you. They wore masks and tried to prove to God that you were a terrorist and you weren't serious about being here at all, and that you didn't deserve being your life or being whatever, It's terrible. So interest, chasing material gain at the cost of deeper connections. Valuing wealth over emotional bonds. Profit prioritized, heart overlooked. So they've missed their deadline. These people needed to sacrifice somebody. They missed their deadline. They've lost their secret weapon, which is you. They were prioritizing profit over love, over heart. They valued wealth over emotional bonds. And now you don't care. So you're letting them go. And they owe you a lot of money. They owe you a lot of energy. They owe you a lot of services. They got to service you because they took everything from you. They forced you to serve them. They forced you to process and carry the weight and the blame for their shame. So they're being let go. They've lost you. They're in fear. We got the Moon card. Trapped. They're in the Moon energy. They're trapped. Their heart trapped. They're afraid. They were drawn to deceptive allure and ignoring the hidden dangers. False promises of gain lured them into risky decisions. Masked risk presents itself as a safe bet. They're in the Moon energy. They're having anxiety. They fell into a trap. They're realizing they're over the ways. Now they wish that somebody cared, but after centuries of being brutalized and tortured, you just don't have any left for them. And as far as I know, Mother Father has given you a new family, because the old family was pointing at you and transferring all their crap onto you. There were groups of men in the past. I would hear them talking smack, accusations over worthlessness, calling me a prostitute, all kinds of really foul things. These men would gather and then they would start spewing this rhetoric in my head. They would call me every foul name, and they would say all these foul things that they were going to do. And, basically it was just really terrible. But these are what these men spent their time doing to a woman who just wanted to love, and they just wanted to sacrifice, get a quick gain, and now they've lost love. They've lost love. Their heart is in a bear trap right now. They're probably getting devoured by the bear. So we got Page of Swords in the reverse. They were all about deception and manipulation. Trump card. Now, I don't know if that's a coincidence or what. You take it as it resonates. Hidden riches and revealing them only to the worthy. Reserved power and using it strategically when needed. Your power lies in patience and use it wisely to surprise when least expected. It could be that you've played the Trump card. It could be that he tried to play a Trump card. A deceptive manipulator, haphazard action. He was all talk, all haste, played a freaking Trump card. They might have tried to gain some kind of privileged, you know, they may feel themselves privileged, considering the name that's on the card. They may feel that they're more deserving, that they may feel they own the world, but they don't. Somebody made a haphazard action and played the Trump card, trying to manipulate somebody with lies. Puppet. Puppet. The Trump card. Trapped in a cycle of consumption and never satisfied. Santa. You know what people say about Santa? Now, I don't know. Take it as it resonates. We've got a celebration here, though. Somebody is in harmony and peace. Somebody is having joy, while the puppet is trapped in a cycle of consumption. So it's like somebody played a Trump card to try to get out of trouble, and they're trapped in a cycle of consumption. It could be that because they played a Trump card, that they got trapped in that conglomerate or whatever. So you're celebrating, you are peace, celebrating love with simple acts of kindness, giving from an open heart, expecting nothing in return. That's you. So these ones are stuck in their contract of infidelity. They wanted to be that, you know, the CEO's mistress, you know. They wanted to keep that woman on the side. They got this contract. It's a karmic bond. Full of codependency and conflict. This infidelity, they're just out there willy-nilly sexing everybody up. Probably slept with everybody in their social circle. They don't have any loyalty. While you take first place, but you got these people here who wanted, look, you're rejecting. So, okay, so we've got somebody is in pursuit of honor. Okay, so they're unfaithful. They're bound to these karmic contracts. Satan or Santa, yeah, I don't know, this puppet, I don't know, that their pursuit of honor has led to inflated stories and distorted truths. They place their worth in others' hands, allowing reputation to overshadow authenticity. So they have a bloated sense, a grandiose idea about themselves. They're a false flame. They're a false flame. They're playing a Trump card, a false flame. So they're out there speaking proper words of love, trying to love bomb and gaslight somebody. Tap and tag that woman because they're overloaded. They got too many responsibilities. They can't handle it. They got to go tap into the divine feminine and gather more of that womb of power energy. Yeah. While you are out here breaking through, pushing through, you keep going. And you know, the thing about this is like, you guys, you divine masculines and the feminines that are out there also, but in a different way, you're like breaking barriers, blazing trails, opening doors that have been, welded shut. You're just really going for it. And you've been doing it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for at least the last 17 months. It's wonderful. Oh, lonely. You might be lonely though. That Captain Tom or whatever. This is Major Tom to down control. Da, 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 da. So you've been alone. You and your twin flame have been separated. You've been wrestling your shadow, doing all that shadow work, expanding your light, coming into temperance energy. You've got a distant twin flame fueling your spiritual journey and inner growth. A solo venture reveals hidden truths and personal growths. So yeah. Oh my gosh. It could be that both of you are mimicking each other. The wealth of who you are, the wealth of your gifts. You may be sharing these. You may be at a distance, but you are connected. And those who were digitally copycatting you, catfishing you, they're being talked about. There's a lot of allegations here, and they're trapped. There's no exit. They're trying to shred documentation. They're going under. They need somebody to help them. They did it all for pennies. While, you're getting sudden wealth. Or they were trying to get sudden wealth. They did it for pennies. They were trying to get your sudden wealth that they knew you were going to get. Your channel or whatever you're doing may get promoted. Your numbers might slowly but steadily show process or progress, while these ones are going to be continuously pushing that boulder up the hill. The walls are closing in on them because they were exploiting others, sharking them, eating them, consuming them, chasing quick gains, making small offers, and then tapping into that energy with a relationship and then playing like it was 1999. They're having a malfunction and they're losing their freedom because you are here with guidance from above to be part of the new beginning. And now whoever they paired up with is like wanting to choke him out. She's like so pissed off. She's like, dude, you made me miss out on my opportunity. So, you know, this routine, this dude sleeping the day away or doing whatever, while she's out there working hard, she's got her independence here. There's a need for change, striving for karmic justice. The path of solitude reveals truths unseen in the company of others. You know, because they come in with all that noise, right? All that energetic noise. And then they're talking a lot. So you kind of miss details that you don't necessarily miss when you're on your own. So there's an unexpected surprise, an oath, a promise to save. A promise to save. Unexpected surprise, serendipity. Unexpected joys reveal hidden depths and profound connections. Yeah, and an oath. Unity in diversity. And this is the thing that I was thinking about, you know, while I was doing a lot of heavy praying before the 17 months ago, before all y'all decided to go to war with these nasty jacks. I'm so grateful, thank you. But unity and diversity, I used to envision, like I would envision like multiverses, you know, entire limitless numbers of spaces and places out there in the galaxies of things, you know. And I would envision like a quilt or a tapestry that the women were putting together, or the men too, if they want to sew. But everybody had their little square, right? And every realm, every dimension, every level and layer had their square, and they were responsible for maintaining the integrity of that connection, right? And what I noticed was that a whole tapestry came to set this right. Every portion, every square, every unit that is attached to one of these squares within the tapestry, you know, a member of the tapestry, a realm, a community, a family, whatever you want to call it. They have special skills and special will, you know, diverse, connected to systems that others aren't. And they all come together, working together without prejudice. 17 months later, centuries of suffering is coming to a close. Unity in diversity. Embracing differences to create a harmonious and balanced partnership, divinely guided toward union. Not this coming out there, you know, scamming people. And then we've got saving, successful. The saving is successful. So you've saved your family. You've saved humanity. So that means we get to continue on. We don't have to go into robot bodies. Or animal bodies. We don't have to descend, because God himself came out here, resurrected us, and led us into an ascension. He's like, no, you're not going to keep my people. You're not going to keep my people. It's the same let my people free thing. It's like, I don't know. So they got this future proves past thing. And they're telling the story about set my people free and all this stuff. And maybe it's true. Maybe it actually happened. Or maybe it was just them trying to claim this moment where the people are being freed. They wanted to flip it, but it didn't happen that way. I don't know, take it as it resonates. But then there was the over and back rule, and there was that thing, you know, if you go over and back, if you start getting shady and tricky, then God was going to, like, say, deliver them back into the hands of the Egyptians or whatever. I think that was a thing too. And they did, man. They started playing in the shadows, and then getting protection from the light, and they really screwed humanity over real bad. I mean, they weren't very good caretakers of anything, you know. They were mad scientists doing mad experiments on the life that they were supposed to be guiding, protecting, leading into an ascension. So we've got the Four of Pentacles. Somebody's having scarcity. They've lost everything. They don't have any money. They're having heavy doubts. They want to escape. They're being crushed by burdens of reality. They could have been arrested. Somebody's got arrested. They want to escape. They got arrested. They want to disappear. Maybe they are going to disappear. We've got the Eight of Pentacles here. You have the mind of an apprentice, which means you're always ready to learn something new. And you have worked very, very diligently on mastering whatever it is that you're learning. Somebody is Tomming you. They're at the police station. They could have been telepathically spying on you. You may be, this says, maintains a facade and guard your privacy with care. So peeping, so family. So these guys are, they're in trouble. Their challenge is that you have some skill development. Looking for peeping toms. Or maybe somebody's in trouble because they were peeping tomming families as they were in their house. Figuring out what Jezebel, what gigolo, how are we going to get that man and that woman separate? How are we going to make that child vulnerable? How are we going to screw up the foundation and the safety for this child? That's exactly what they were doing. They were doing this kind of telepathic crapola, spying on the minds of the people and then destroying families. They did not want generational wealth. They did not want any challengers. So they're challenged because they've been spying on family and then doing the work to mess them up. They're in prison. They got arrested because you have recovered from the pain. You're releasing this burden and you are moving on. Moving on from the danger. These guys are in danger. They're in danger. They want your forgiveness because you healed and you moved on. Fatal blow is you doing your shadow work and mastering yourself, coming into temperance energy. You're the high priestess. Why wouldn't you? You're high priestess empress. These people didn't see that in you. They were convinced that you were them. No strings. Fatal blow is there's no strings. There's no contracts. There's no strings. They won't be your neighbor. They cannot live in the territory. Anybody who is feeding on, manipulating, abusing, gaining an intimate encounter just to impregnate somebody to access the spiritual inheritance of the child that the Most High God has allotted for them. Yeah, this kind of game over these lazy, jackass little romance boys. Yeah, and that's just bad. Bad, bad, bad. You know, and they steal the wealth out of these children's bank accounts and then they raise them up in these narcissistic families and then they condemn them with every sin that they have cursed that lineage with. It's crazy. This is the end of you taking the blame for their actions. And they're in a tower. They're effed up over you. They're effed up over resilience, your resilience. Public scrutiny causes you to question your worth and motives. Facing public opinion challenges your resilience and resolve. So people are being condemned over what they have done to you. And now they're messed up. Now they're messed up. You're getting your 9 of Cups. Life of luxury. you're grateful for everything that you have experienced and survived, and what you've recognized about yourself as you elevated. And we've got germination. They cannot curse your land anymore, but your property, your seeds, what you have grown, what you're trying to birth, who you are, the information you have to share, you know, your soul song, whatever it is that moves through you, because you're the temperance angel, freaking high priestess. It's supposed to be here. Heard, seen, felt. Thug. So you're getting a 9 of Cups, a life of luxury. You're very grateful. We've got germination, the Thug. So this is roots out issues from their source and promotes stability. So germination, it could be that this Thug cannot step on your stuff. It could be that you're looking at what was planted by the Thug. We're going to get some more clarification. 3 of Cups is there's a celebration, and we've got comparison. And everybody might be comparing what they got. Now, everybody is on the journey, but everybody is on a different level of the journey. You know, you got K through 12, kindergarten through 12, and then you got college after that. And I suppose it's the same with universal schools and growth and opportunities. You have to develop soul value. You got to come down here, go through it, and then, you know, add value to your soul. So now it's like there's a celebration in the community. Everybody's comparing what they've got here. What did you get? What was your prize? What did you create while you were down there? And that's the thing, you know, some people don't feel that they got what they deserved, and, you know, they got what they deserved. That's what he with all authority, when he speaks, it rumbles through you, and he said they're going to get what they deserve. The Thug. Focus on your own path. Stop seeking validation from external sources. The Thug, trying to compare themselves to you. They don't have anything. They didn't earn anything. All they did was try to destroy your opportunity to have anything. And you survived. Married. So you might be seeing what, you know, what did you get paid? I don't know. Comparing marriage. You're focusing on your own path. You're not seeking validation from external sources. You're married and you're happy with your spouse, and it looks like you're focused on whatever it is that you bring to the table and work with each other. So yeah, twin flames. Evolving separately and becoming whole individually, right? And then there's a time when you get reunion. Oh, twin flame. Backstab. Queen of Cups, twin flame, backstab. Uh-oh. That could be the lens that's being looked through. That's what happened. We've got a hanged man here. Somebody missed the deadline to sacrifice you. They've lost their secret weapon. It was you all along. You were their secret weapon. Because the power that they were wielding and harming people with and gaining from was you. And you're free here. Living in the moment. They owe you. They owe you. They owe you A sweet, easy life is what they owe you. They're afraid because they're caught in a trap. They can't get out. And now they love you too much, baby, because all those love spells backfired. Queen Bee. They're trapped by the Queen Bee. They're afraid. They got trapped by the Queen Bee. They were not able to sacrifice the Queen Bee. They're being sacrificed by. They own this. They owe this Queen Bee a nice, easy, casual life. A life of luxury. Page of Swords in the reverse. Haphazard action. Trump card. They're playing the Trump card. Love, hate, ashamed. Somebody is ashamed of this love-hate business. They're in the wrong. They know it. They played their Trump card, and they're in the wrong, and they know it. Isn't that amazing how that worked out? Mirroring. Those mirrors, those people mirroring you, they're under pressure. They're having anxiety here. They're being released. Secrets. Pop the question. I love you. Fake busy. So those who were secretly getting married in order to be fake busy, to not have to do anything, it could be they're running right now. Because you're getting your wish. And you get to turn your back. You get to turn your back on this fairy tale trap. Because your true colors are seen. Your spiritual gifts are recognized. These people were sweet talking divine feminines and then getting a side hustle, right? Feeding on them, selling the energy, bumping heads, downloading all your information. Thanks, doll. Thanks for that divine feminine download. Now I'm going to go download it into my copycat there so we can continue messing you up. Left you hanging. No closure for a sex addict. No closure for a sex addict. Divine masculine is happily single. Happy to be single. They don't need no Jezebel coming in here. We got this jackass is praying. There's a jackass praying here. Miss you. Massive regrets. Because they're having an ego death and in a downward spiral. Because romance is goodbye. They're never going to have romance again. Never will they tap into another soul and abuse it like they have been. So callously, so brutally, so selfishly. Because they were getting readings on people who love themselves and then trying to bind them to karmic ties. So somebody's not happy, they're a copycat or whatever, because the twin flames are closing this cycle. Their GPS, their pathway is illuminated. They have found the truth about this pathway, what was going, and now there's a firestorm of karma coming to these arrogant jackwagons who insisted it must be their way. There's a separation from those who participated in reckless sex. They've got bad credit. They don't work. They never earned anything. They've got a ton of debt, and they're being rejected. They're being rejected because of the shady history. These psycho Jezebels. Yeah. They got some bad news about a love spell and their feelings. They're losing sleep. They've been blocked. So it could be that they did a love spell and it backfired, and now they're losing sleep and they've been blocked and nobody gives a crap. Divine Masculine isn't going to talk to Jezebel anymore, because the truth is known. And besides that, God is here, you know, and God isn't going to let nobody mess with people's minds and steal the spiritual inheritance that he allotted for his family, that these ones have been taking. While trying to frame the family as though they were irresponsible and unworthy. It's just not very nice. It's just not very nice. It's been many, many centuries. So it's like you're going to get, what I was talking about, what was the perpetuity? Was that the word? Whatever it is, they can't interfere with it. It'll go on and on and on. Your land, your business, your belongings, they belong to you. They can never, ever, ever take it from you, and you can't give it away. Because God saw that they were doing magic over people's minds and gaining it, doing tricks over the mental bodies and the emotional bodies of people, or forcing them to sign it over, and that's not going to happen anymore. Nope, what is yours is yours. It's between you and God, and nobody can take it, and you cannot give it away. When you're done with it, it goes back to God. And he gives it to the next person. No more games. No more games with the stuff that he meant for you. Absolutely not. So, we've got somebody experiencing scarcity. It could be that those who tried to control the foundation here of the planet are looking for an escape. They're at the police station. They want to disappear. Maybe they are going to disappear. They're at the police station. Yep, addicted. Toxic attachments. They're addicted. Obsessed. Excuse me. Challenged by your Eight of Pentacles. Or challenged by repeatedly spying on families and then doing the work to split them up and drain them of their spiritual inheritance. Destabilize the life of that child. Harm the child, maybe even. So they're in trouble. They're in big trouble. We got divine intervention, serendipity, and catalyst. These people are in big trouble. They're receiving their karma because you recovered. You were able to enter into temperance energy. And there's that's the fatal blow. The fatal blow is that there are no more strings. They're cut off. That's what they wanted. They didn't want any strings. They didn't want to be part of your life. They didn't want to build. They didn't want you to be happy. They just wanted to take everything from you and give you eternity of suffering. And now they're getting cut off. The fatal blow. The fatal blow is there's an empty room. There's not going to be anybody there for them. This is the end of their opportunity. They wanted no strings. They didn't want strings. So there's an empty house, an empty room. Fatal blow. Nobody will be there for them. If the car breaks down on the freeway 700 miles from home and they don't have AAA, they're going to have to figure out how to get it fixed. They're going to have to figure out, how do I get to the mechanic? And do they have money for the mechanic? I mean, you know, this can go real bad, real quick, just like they know it can, because that's what they've been doing to everybody. There's no more people for these ones to mess with anymore. You're going to be alone. Just like you were, all by yourself. And you know, the sad thing about it is these women, they left them alone after they impregnated them and drained her account and the child's account. And then they slandered the mother over and over and just painted her in such the most vile way. So they're in a tower. And this is the world. The world card is here. It's the completion of them condemning you for their stuff. They got to face public opinion. And they're questioning their worth and their motives. Maybe others are as well. They're effed up over you. Mystery. It's a mystery. They didn't think that you were going to be able to do this. How did you do that? You are firm. It's a mystery. They're puzzled. How the heck are you wide awake and so freaking firm? Why are you so courageous? Why are you boldly stepping forward? How is this? When they blamed you for everything. You know why? Because you see this light in here? Because that was what they were blaming. So it's a mystery. You are firm. You are solid. You recovered and you're moving on. You're getting your 9 of Cups, a life of luxury. They're not going to be able to step onto your land. They won't be able to pull up any seeds. They won't be able to damage any of those beautiful little things that you're creating, growing. They will mature. We've got the Thug here, though. The Thug. What's up with the Thug? Germination and Thug. It could be that the Thug is going in the ground. It could be that you're planting the Thug in the ground. Unfinished business. Twin flames, unfinished business. It could be that you're planting, germinating the Thug. We've got a celebration here. We've got somebody was focused on, somebody's got to go focus on their own path. We've got married. Maybe you're comparing your path now. This says focus on your own path. Comparing what you've been through. This is something else. You got the twin flames. Hold on. We got a snake. Wait a second. Oh. We've got snake and crown. What the heck? There's a celebration, comparison, married, snake and crown. We're going to have to get some stuff. The snake is a liar. The crown is the master. A comparison. So everybody needed to be tested. So God, that was one of the first things that said. Everybody needed to be tested. So you got the humans with the rainbow chakra, and you got these other copies that are perfect copies, except that they're full of malice, and they like to hurt people. They're very clever at manipulating and causing suffering. So it's like there's a celebration. There was a comparison, a test. Who's more valuable? Who is more valuable for married life? The snake, the copycat, or royalty? Those who have the rainbow chakra. We're reconciled. You're reconciled with the crown. There's an understanding here. Divine timing. Reconciled in divine timing, crown. You've mastered. You are the master. You deserve it. You are valuable. You're the more valuable. That's what it was. There was a comparison. A competition, which we didn't know was happening, of course. So that was the competition. these snakes wanted to convince God that they deserved the planetary gatekeeper position and all of the wealth over all of the life of this planet. So were they the best person for that? No. Nope. We've got the crown is here, divine timing, reconciled. Queen of Cups is here, twin flames, and we've got backstab, pain, cheating, deception, mind games, love bombs, communications records, messages. Well, we got a release. Comparison. Who's divine feminine going to choose? Well, she didn't choose the snake. The snake tried to force her into an entrapment so that they could just force all, use her as a freaking compost pile. So yeah, so now they're letting go. They're being let go. They missed their deadline. They've lost their secret weapon, which is this Queen of Cups, High Priestess, and this one she's reconciled with. They owe all that they did plus interest, living in the moment, the mirror. They're being let go. All that they took from you must be repaid or experienced with interest. That's where it's going to be magnified, times 1, times 2, times 10, whatever. They're afraid because they are in a trap by the Queen Bee. Run away. They may want to run away from the Queen Bee. They're in a trap. We've got the Queen Bee, secure, confident, boss bitch. We've got somebody's running away, getting away, keeping away. Somebody's giving up. Somebody's in a trap. Somebody's been trapped by the Queen Bee and they're giving up. Page of Swords in the reverse. Somebody was trying to be deceptive and manipulative. They're playing the trump card. They are ashamed and embarrassed and in the wrong over this love-hate scenario. Okay. Making the rose a street exhibit, a prostitute. There's evidence of bondage, of torment, of torture, of being alone, of being abused. They took a chance. They rolled the dice. They gambled this High Priestess. And now she's getting dreams come true. She's receiving a miracle. And somebody misses her because she is a powerful light, a powerful shadow. They're like, oh, I miss you. I miss you. And it's like she's free of them. She's free of these ones who are just pulling on her. She's successful, coming into a fortune. She has discovered the core of the problem. The core of the problem here. She is royalty. She's got the crown here. The crown is reconciled, divine timing. There's going to be a change, a transformation. We're going to cool down. We're going to cool down and lower the sun on the trash. The law is happening here. Lawyer, judge, police, and all that you had hoped for is occurring here. There will be a separation between the snake and the crown. And the hidden truth, because you've discovered the hidden truth, you are the treasure. The hidden treasure, and you're getting a new beginning. Somebody is in eternal regret because you investigated and did your research here on the other side, this shadow. Your animal friends, the pets, got a sixth sense. And you are ascending, have ascended, you've leveled up. and you've solved the puzzle. You've solved the puzzle of this uninvited guest, this clown, camouflaged here, an exact duplicate, a pod person, the same, except they don't have the rainbow chakra or the rainbow covenant, and there's no rainbow chakra in them. They're not their own power source. So you could be bumping into a forgotten person, an old friend, or maybe this forgotten person who has been taking refuge in your home is being let go. Yes, because we've got a commitment to silencing the third parties who have been leaving the rose single, alone, without support. Yeah. So there's drinks. Congratulations. Your song, your soul song, is a natural talent of the apple, the daughters of Eden. And now these twin flames that these entities were considering taboo are coming together soon. So the crown, whoever this is that fell to tell, whoever was deceitfully convicted and then outcast, has discovered the truth about the hidden things. We've got, so somebody's playing the trump card. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I think, I think this is perfect, actually. Perfect. So a quick recap. Those who are trying to control your foundation, the planetary gate, they're crushed by the burdens of reality. And they want to escape. They're at the police station and they have addiction problems. They could be having the shakes or something. Maybe they're going to be locked up and imprisoned for their addiction to you, hurting you. I heard the other day that they had poisoned her. Now I feel like right here, I did some videos. It's like they were injecting something into my vein right here. And they did it once before and there was this big bruise there. I did a video. It's on my page here somewhere. But the other day I felt them injecting me again and it's burned. It's like a burning substance. And then they were talking about they poisoned her. So I don't know. It's like and this is the hand that you send energy with. So it's like they were injecting something, trying to foul the energy signature coming from your release hand. And at least that's what they were doing to me. I'm sure they were probably doing it to others. So there's a celebration because there has been a comparison made between the rainbow chakra covenant holder of God and the snake and their copycat, their duplicate, their pod people that don't have that chakra or that rainbow covenant. So there was a comparison over the two when it comes to marriage. And what we've got now is the crown, is the master. You're the master and you're getting divine timing, a reconciliation with your person because the crown takes the prize. The snake has lost. They're being let go. All of these mirror people who had been living high on your spiritual inheritance, they lost the challenge. They lost the competition. I hope that this brings clarity to something that you already knew. The Queen of Cups is looking at the twin flame here, evolving separately, becoming whole. And we've got records of all of the backstabbing that had been done to the twin flames while they were on their solo journey, transmuting their shadow and coming into the light. somebody, so there's deception, call records, messaging records, mind games. So the Queen of Cups is looking at the twin flames and the deception, the backstab deception by these mirrors. So it could very well be that the person that Queen of Cups, High Priestess is being reconciled with, had been backstabbed by a catfish, a copycat that had framed her for doing something that was not proper in God's family. They missed the deadline. They didn't get their sacrifice, and they've lost their secret weapon, which was this woman with the crown. The Queen Bee. Caught in a trap. Somebody got caught in a trap by the Queen Bee, because she came down here and she's like, you accused me of what? You accused me of what? You want me to what? You want me to be? So they've been turning all the little queen bees into prostitutes, accusing them of being that. And this is that snake wanting to promote their mirror as you. Now they're running away from the queen bees. That's so weird that this says trump card on it. I mean, it's fitting. It makes sense to me. Haphazard action by somebody playing the trump card. They're very ashamed and embarrassed about this love-hate circumstance with the rose that they were sacrificing and making a street exhibit, a prostitute. They were trying to condemn you, and now they're effed up over you because they think it's a mystery. They can't figure out, why are you so strong? How were you able to bring it close to this cycle? You know why? Because God's been watching the whole time, and he knows about the lies. He knows about the cheating, the stealing, the framework, the deceitful convictions, the entrapment. See you on the next one, everybody.